Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the counselor's office. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor, and we are here with a series that I didn't expect to make, but I'm making it because it's part of my ultimate prep guide. That's right. Everything that I can possibly do to help people get ready, as I myself am also prepping for the final shape and for day one. This video right here is going over this bad boy right here, which the link will be down below for you, which is my bounty prep, which I already have that, so check that out on the channel. Again, I'm also doing ascend challenges for those bounties, so you know how to do them, when to do them. But today, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about brave weapons. That's right, because we only have so much time left to grind before the final shape. And that means if you want to get your shinies, you need to min-max your time. So you may only be able to get what's best of the best. So I'm going to give you PvE, then I'll give you a PvP rundown of what I think is the best. We have 12 of them, and I'm going to put the ones I think you should definitely, I would say S and A is 100% you should get. B is a maybe. C and D, not so much worth your time. So right off the rip, I think we can all agree Edge Transit. Edge Transit is the best grenade launcher in the game, bar none. Cataphract is Strand. Yes, it's good. It has bait and switch. But the fact right now, even with the nerf, if they do it, you can have a shiny, which I do, which has Envious Assassin and Cascade. Get your shots off, get some kills. And then you get over proc with Envious Assassin, swap to Cascade, get those precision hits, and then just blow your load. Nuts. Plus, have deconstruct and bait and switch on that thing, you have a god roll. Fantastic. Edge Transit was a meme back in the day, and somehow it is S tier. You need to get at least a bait and switch Envious or Cascade, whatever you prefer. I'd probably get at least one of each if you don't have a shiny. The next one that I think is probably the last S tier is Midnight Coupe. It is the best kinetic hand cannon in the game. It was a raid gun, and now it is just a general gun that you can get. I would definitely get it for like we're talking about PvE. It has so many options, but we'll talk about the god roll. But it is the best 140 hand cannon, and maybe just a hand cannon in general, in my opinion, in the kinetic slot. That's it for S tier. A tier, I'm gonna put Hammerhead. Listen, commemoration exists, but Hammerhead has something that commemoration doesn't have, and that is dual damage perks. It can get Rampage, Killing Tally. It can get Rampage, Surrounded. It can get Rewind Rounds, which commemoration doesn't get. It also can get 4 times the charm. Now, are you doing DPS with this? You can, but for just the package it provides is more than commemoration. Commemoration will still be shining, but I think Hammerhead at A tier definitely meets it. Definitely meets it. Now, I may have put in my, I did do a like overlay god roll guide. I may have put it up here, but now that I'm thinking about it, it's definitely at least A tier. I'm just going to show you a D tier right off the rip. Listen, it's not, if you don't have succession, it's not bad, but it's also a raid weapon, but it's also kinetic. And there is right now the best kinetic sniper in the game, which is rapid fires. But the one you need to farm for is the supremacy. Don't waste your time farming this. Go do last wish, farm red borders, or even a god roll supremacy if you can't get the crafted version. But I would 100% get a crafted supremacy. Next, this is going to be controversial. Luna's How. Listen, the only role that I can think that's worth your time is Heal Clip and Incandescent. But Zalo's Bane, in my opinion, is superior in every fathomable way. Explosive payload, incandescence, and it's craftable. Yes, both can be, all these can be enhanced. But I'm going to tell you right now, I prefer Zalo's Bane. Yeah, I might be in the minority in that, but to me, it's B tier. There's just so many other hand cannons, and it's in the mid for me. All right, let's go back. C. Again, I don't know if I put it here, but I'm definitely putting Fallen Guillotine C. It's not bad. In fact, it's probably the best Void sword in the game. Don't get me wrong. When we're talking about Void swords, it's up here. But Bequest has the best and easiest package when it comes to DPS. Yes, can you get surrounded and frenzy? Can you get possibly good damage for burst with this? Absolutely. But you can get a God 5 out of 5 God roll crafted to your desire Bequest instead of this, in my opinion. It's not a priority. Swords in general are just not a priority for you right now. Get one good sword Bequest, in my opinion, and you're good. Like, there's no reason. This game is not sword friendly. It is not. It's not sword friendly. Every boss stomps or insta-kills you in the Grandmasters. Using a sword is just pointless except for very niche encounters like Crota. All right, Recluse, B tier. Listen, Recluse is the best Void SMG in the game, but it's very mid. Like, I don't know. I think people overhyped it because of Master and Arms. The Master Arms is now worse than Frenzy. I mean, Frenzy gives you 15% damage just like Master Arms, and it just procs by using it in general. Like, you're going to proc Frenzy. We'll get more into that in a minute, but it's B tier. It's not bad, but it's not like you can grab a decent copy and that's it. I would not farm for a shiny or 5 out of 5 quad God roll. It's not that good. It's good, but it's not that good. Mountaintop. I'm gonna say A tier. Why? Because it's one of a kind right now. 2, it's actually pretty good for chip damage for against yellow bars and for hot swapping, especially activating bait and switch. You just get you can get a real big chunk of damage, swap to your next weapon, and then activate bait and switch on your heavy. So for swaps, not bad. Another D. Why? Because we already have it in game, and there's nothing in this package that listen, if you scouts in general are not too hot. They're not the most meta thing. And if you really want it, you can still get it later. You can still get like a base version with whatever, and it's still going to be brave. But is it worth trying to get a shiny version? No. Deliverance, also D. Listen, it's going to get nerfed with the chain reaction. With that being said, I would just like to get a craftable version. So if, for say, I'm using the crafted version, if chain reaction is that bad, I can change that perk immediately by recrafting it. If you farm for a God roll and suddenly that God roll, one of those perks that you spent time and currency farming is just suddenly nerfed and it's not good, well, you have a dead perk and it's not that good. I would rather just get a crafted version knowing that there's a nerf coming to this thing. It's just pointless unless you get lucky and you get a roll that you can use, then sure, but I would not go out of my way for any of these weapons. I'm gonna say A tier for Blast Furnace. It is probably the best kinetic pulse rifle. Now, granted, pulse rifles in general, outside of like maybe BXR and for like incandescent build, outside of that, pulse rifles just aren't the meta for PvE. But Blast Furnace does provide some tools in its kit that make it viable. And it's also black armor, a little nostalgia, but is probably the best kinetic pulse rifle you can get for PvE, in my opinion. So it is worth, in my opinion, worst case scenario B, but I would at least grab you a single PvE copy for sure. And Elsie's rifle B. First off, it's a 340. 340s generally suck in PvE. They're too slow. They feel bulky. And honestly, if I'm using this, I'm using it with a Void Hunter, and that's about it. Because Gerfalcon's, the synergy with this gun, it makes it S tier in my opinion. Like, it makes it really viable. But outside of that, it's just B tier to me. That's my thought. Now let's go. We're just gonna, for now, because I don't know if I can reset it. Reset. So for PvP, I think I don't have to explain why. Any grenade launcher works. You're not using swords, or at least not this sword. This is probably not the one of the worst snipers to use. I mean, I think what 90 RPMs are better. There you go. That's what I think for PvP. Blast Furnace feels amazing. LZ's rifle, one of the best, if not the best 340s, and Hammerhead just feels really good for PvP, just for SWAT using it. Midnight Coupe actually really feels good. It has some perks in its kit that makes it feel really consistent. Now this one's gonna agitate some people, but listen, I think Maghow is overrated. It's overhyped. It's strong, but I think the fact that you have to build into it too much, just, I don't know, it's not as good compared to using an igneous hammer where you can just 2-tap with that using precision instrument. Now, I do want to say this does feel amazing with precision instrument. I love Eye of the Storm on it too, with those synergizing, because I'm landing those hits, I'm getting some kills. So it's not bad, but for PvP, I feel like there are definitely better hand cannons to farm for. Now, solar wise, this is probably the best solar, like S tier solar you can get for PvP. But in my opinion, I think there are better hand cannons, and Igneous Hammer is the best hand cannon in the game, in my opinion. There's nothing better than Igneous, in my opinion. So that's that. Now, my tier list might be a little different, but here we have our roles, and just so we're having some consistency and you're not, that's definitely not going to be it. Ooh! There we go. There you go. I made this just so it's easier for your beautiful faces. And if you really want I didn't make this for anyone else, but if you really want this, especially a new player, so you can kind of focus farm, then here you go. I said for PvE, definitely Envious Assassin, Cascade, bait and switch, and deconstruct. You get a shiny with these perks, you've got the god roll. Yes, you can try to min-max your everything else, but in my opinion, in Destiny, one thing I've learned, very little changes with some of the other things. Very little, not a whole lot, but like you can get increased mag size, and then velocity, all that stuff adds the masterwork, but it's not as important as the core perks, in my opinion. This is what makes the gun the gun. PvE, I told you Midnight Coupe is the best kinetic in the game, and I'm not lying, it really is. It is by far one of the best in the game. It has Firefly, it gets explosive payload. Explosive payload is probably the best perk. Kinetic Tremors, and One for All. Now listen, the reason why I don't put Frenzy on here is, one, enhanced Frenzy does absolutely nothing, so I wouldn't even bother. And two, for that very reason, I would rather use Fatebringer, because Fatebringer can use adept mods. If I'm going to use a explosive Frenzy, I'm just going to use my Fatebringer. But enhanced Kinetic Tremors, so much better than base Kinetic Tremors. One for All, I don't remember what it does. Like, I know what it does, but the enhanced version of it. But you can essentially combo any of these together and it's gonna work. Firefly Kinetic Tremors, killing trash ads, doing damage to yellow bars. Explosive Payload Kinetic, good all around. Well, Explosive One for All, just going straight damage on everything. I prefer Kinetic Tremors over One for All personally, because in situations where there is no, like, multiple enemies to shoot and you only have one, Kinetic Tremors procs for free. And if you shoot something that just dies and you never activate Kinetic Tremors, then you never needed One for All in the first place, in my opinion. Next, like I said, Hammerhead, very good. Hammerhead is really worth the time, in my opinion. Rewind rounds, Envious Assassin, so kind of like Reconstruction, But it can get up to 200 in the mag, which is far more than what Commemoration can get. Rampage, Killing Tally, Surrounded. Honestly, I have Rampage, Killing Tally, Shiny. Fantastic. Would love Envious, so you can, obviously just humongous load and just keep using Rampage, Killing Tally. And then Surrounded is kind of like a situational overall. PvP, Rampage, going double damage perk in PvP with the little, damage you have. Like, you can chain kills with Rampage and Impact Reserve, sorry. Tap the trigger for consistency. This thing was fantastic in PvP and it's back. You would never use Mountaintop for PvP. It sucks. You might as well just use any other grenade launcher. Auto-loading is like key to every god roll, so I'll at least have that. Impulse Amplifier is not bad. If you are trying to do some rapid, you have like no heavy and you're trying to do chip damage, Impulse Amplifier can let you unload. Recombination is the hotness. I personally like Frenzy because there's situations where I do like to hit shots, swap, use Mountaintop, swap. That way I can chain kills, do chip damage. Recombination is really nice, but in harder content where you can't just one-shot things, I would rather use this for clearing as much trash around the big target and use my primary to whittle it down. Yeah, you can't go wrong. If you get this god roll, you've got it made. If you can get this with these two, fantastic, you've got it. Even if you get these together, that's still pretty good. Kinetic Tremors, in my opinion, Blast Furnace has a very select pull that makes it viable, and Kinetic Tremors is one. And either Frenzy or One for All. Again, I'm going to go Frenzy for the same reason I talked about with Midnight Oop, because I would like to have consistency and it just procs automatically without having to worry about One for All. Yes, you can chain these together. Kinetic Tremors can help proc One for All, and that's great. However, it doesn't, to my knowledge, One for All does not boost Kinetic Tremor damage. Maybe it does. I think it does. Either way, it does. Kinetic Tremors does help One for All. And Frenzy just having 15% damage, it needs help with handling. That's why I like Frenzy. It has horrible handling. Frenzy helps with that. Tier 3, Heal Clip, Incandescent. Like I said, I told you Heal Clip, that's all you want. Oh, wait, so Blast Furnace for PvP. I think Rapid Hit, honestly, is the best in slot on the 4th column. Head Seeker, Keep Away, Zen Moment, just fantastic. Yes, I know people like Kill Clip. To me, I like consistency over overkill. Head Seeker is fine with Rapid Hit. Keep Away is really good, but Zen Moment and Rapid Hit, I want that roll so bad. I want it so bad. Luna's Howl, like I told you before, you want Heal Clip, Incandescent. For PvP, Slide Shot, Precision Instrument, and Light Action, Opening Shot. Just consistency, increased damage. Overall, it does feel really good, especially on controller. But if I'm going to be honest, I like Precision Instrument the most. I don't like Mag Howl. I'm a spastic reloader. Having to do, and the fact that it doesn't have like a special reload that to activate the perk versus just doing a reload is really stupid, in my opinion. And the fact that if you try to get more in one stack and you die, you lose it, the risk versus reward isn't there. Like, cool, 2 taps, but I could just use a 120 and 2 tap anyways for free. PvE, the Recluse, Repulsor Brace, Destabilizing Rounds is the best SMG. I deleted my Tidal SMG, which is a 720 that also got the combo. 900s are faster and better at proccing that. I have a Shiny Feeding Frenzy, Repulsor Brace, and Surrounded. Like, this is a fantastic combo in my opinion. I would have liked the Shiny of Destabilizing Rounds, but honestly, having these together, I already have my God roll. I'm good. For PvP, Threat Detector, Master of Arms. Master of Arms for PvP is actually really good because any kill will activate Master of Arms. So just a free 15% for getting a kill in general. That is better in PvP than PvE in my opinion. Then we have our LC's Rifle, Rewind Rounds, Repulsor Brace, and Frenzy. Yes, it gets these stabilizing rounds. I personally would like more consistency with Frenzy, with the handling and reload. You could go rewind rounds just so you don't have to reload as much. And then you also have, I think, repulsor brace for that void kit, mostly for hunter. I'm thinking hunter. Like I said, I would run this on my hunter all day. And if I'm using Girl Falcon, I don't need the stabilizing round. So repulsor brace and frenzy is just a match made in heaven for Falcon Hunter. And then Zen Moment, Head Seeker. Yes, you could use Desperado. You can also use Keep Away, but the juicer is this right here. This is the juicer, and it feels so good. All right, then Fallen Guillotine. Like I said, you can get Frenzy Surrounded. You can get Relentless Strikes and Whirlwind Blade, the OG. You can also get Bait and Switch if you're a mad lad, just for that consistent 35%. If you're not surrounded by enemies, but you want to get 35% damage, you could definitely do that Bait and Switch. And then our bottom of the barrel, we have Succession. Reconstruction Firing Line is the go-to, but you can also do Recombination for solo. You can also do Discord Recombination for that Mimi, I have a sniper for a primary combination, just get free kills. PvP, Moving Target Snapshot, honestly, the only role I could think of that would be worth your time. I just don't know why you would want to do it, but you definitely can do it. Hung Jury, Rewind Rounds, Explosive Payload, Kinetic Tremors, Precision Instrument. Those are like the go-to perks. Honestly, I like the depth version better because I have Shoot to Loot and Kinetic Tremors. So when I get precision hits, I'm activating Kinetic Tremors, and the Blast Wave collects all the ammo, and it collects the Orbs of Light. So that combination works. You can do kinetic and explosive. That's not bad. But in my opinion, I like the depth version from the Grandmasters than the Brave version. Also get for PvP, Rapid Hit Explosive Payload. I also had Box Breathing. I don't know why I deleted that. But yeah, Box Breathing for sure. It's not on here, but yeah, you can do some cheesy stuff with Box Breathing. And then we have the OG God Roll with Ambitious Assassin, Chain Reaction on our Wave Launcher. It also gets Demolitionist. The only reason I would care about this is rocking one of Demolitionist and Wellspring. If you get a roll like that, keep it, because you're getting a bunch of energy back, and with Indomitability, you're just stacking on stacking on stacking like this. That's a juice roll. But for shiny hunting, I would not shiny hunt for this. Get this roll right here. I think that's the only thing I would care about. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is my tier list for your beautiful faces. I hope this gives you something to chase for those who are new or returning. This is a longer video, but I kind of want to go over the tier list and give you some god rolls for your beautiful faces. Again, anything right here is definitely worth your time grinding. Everything else is like, it's not necessary. If you're a PvP fanatic, you'll probably still put this in your higher priority. But when it comes to PvE, I would definitely focus on these, especially these two. You need to get these for day one. Strong kinetic hand cannons are fantastic. They do great damage, and we know that kinetic weapons will increase your prismatic recharge for the functionality of it. So get you a fantastic kinetic weapon, and then a juicer of a DPS heavy. No meme intended. Edge Transit, you should fill your vault with as many god rolls of Edge Transit as possible. And unironically, it matters. Unlike when it first came out and you got like 20 of these and it was like, oh, well, this is kind of stupid. No, you want to get as many as you can. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor. Hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel for more. As always, like I said, the link for this will be down below. And if you really, really want this, I'll put the link down below for you so you can have your own copy and you can kind of follow along and get some ideas of what you think you might like to chase. Until next time, don't forget to game out. Huzzah.